Hey guys, let's get more news from Steelers, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Sims, Sean Payton will be vengeful toward Russell Wilson. It's no secret that Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos' relationship ended on bad terms. The Super Bowl-winning quarterback and head coach came to odds during the season, so much so that Wilson was benched, with rumors of behind-the-scenes contract talks becoming ugly in terms of Wilson refusing to negate the money owed to him. Wilson was released by the Broncos, who will eat over $80 million in dead cap over the next 2 seasons. Wilson and the Pittsburgh Steelers will visit Denver in Week 2 of the 2024 NFL season, and former NFL quarterback and analyst Chris Sims says Sean Payton will be playing with extra motivation of wanting to stick it to his former quarterback. Sean Payton's gonna want to make a point there and go, wait, I'm not gonna let the guy that I wasted all this salary cap on, and moved on from, and had to waste all this time talking about and blah, 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 Sims said. I don't want him to come in here and win that game. I know Sean Payton. He's chippy. He's certainly not gonna want that. Pittsburgh will have 2 revenge games of sorts to kick off the season, as they'll take on Arthur Smith's former squad, the Atlanta Falcons in Week 1 before their trip to Mile High in Week 2. The Denver Broncos' 2024 preseason and regular season schedules have been released. Denver will start out the regular season on the road in Seattle for the second time in 3 years and will end the season at home against the defending champions. They are only scheduled for 2 primetime games, which is the fewest since 2021. One of the games to circle on the calendar for Broncos fans is Week 2. Former quarterback Russell Wilson, now of the Pittsburgh Steelers, will return to the Mile High City to face his former team in Denver's home opener. During the offseason, the Broncos released the veteran quarterback, despite the fact that they are on the hook to pay for the remainder of his $39 million salary. The Steelers then signed Wilson to a 1-year deal worth the veteran minimum of $1.2 million. It remains to be seen whether Wilson will see any playing time when the Steelers play the Broncos. The Steelers also have Justin Fields and Mason Rudolph in their quarterback room. Following the home opener, the Broncos will hit the road with back-to-back East Coast games at Tampa Bay and New York in Weeks 3 and 4. Then the AFC West slate begins with back-to-back home games, featuring showdowns with the Raiders and the Chargers and their new head coach Jim Harbaugh. Another game that will be intriguing will be Week 7, when the Broncos travel to New Orleans to face coach Sean Payton's former team the New Orleans Saints on Thursday Night Football. Payton is the winningest coach in the franchise's history and led them to their only Super Bowl win. He was hired by the Saints in 2006, and his last season coaching in Louisiana was the 2021 season. He coached his first season in Denver last year. The second primetime matchup is a Monday Night Football showcase at home against Cleveland on December 2nd. The Broncos also have a late bye week. It doesn't come until December in Week 14. The Broncos wrap their season with a division showdown against the Kansas City Chiefs at Empower Field at Mile High. Cam Hayward addresses skipping OTAs, Steelers schedule in new podcast. Pittsburgh Steelers defensive lineman Cam Hayward confirmed he plans to skip voluntary organized team activities, which begin May 21st. On a May 16 episode of his podcast, Not Just Football with Cam Hayward, the Steelers veteran said he's doing what he feels is right for him as contract talks continue. I have always attended these, but at this time, it's just contract negotiations. I want to be a Pittsburgh Steeler, but we'll see what happens, he said. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler initially reported Hayward would skip OTAs on May 15. Hayward, who just turned 35 years old on May 6, is beginning his 14th season in the NFL. He is entering the final year on a 4-year, $65 million contract. The Steelers selected Hayward in the first round of the 2011 draft. He has served as team captain for 7 seasons. News of Hayward's plan to skip OTAs came just a few days after he told Steelers Now he hopes to play 2 to 3 more years. In a May 11 Steelers Now exclusive, Hayward told Alan Saunders contract talks are ongoing. Hayward navigated multiple serious injuries during the 2024 season, the most costly being a groin injury suffered during the Steelers' first game of the year. Hayward had surgery to repair his groin injury in September. Though he returned ahead of schedule in Week 8, lingering issues required another surgery in February, according to NFL Network's Tom Pelissero. On his podcast May 16, Hayward said he continues to put in the work to be physically ready for another season. "I'm training hard, nothing I'm not doing on and off the field. I'm doing everything possible. We'll get there when we get there." Based on their opponents' 2023 records, the Steelers have the third most difficult schedule in the NFL for 2024. Their matchups become especially difficult following their Week 9 bye. In their final 8 games, the Steelers play all 6 AFC North divisional games, the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. On his May 16 podcast, Hayward wasn't concerned about the road ahead. "They gotta play us, and they've gotta deal with our physical brand," he said. "It is what it is. I signed up for football. Let's play football." The Steelers will host the Chiefs on Christmas Day at 1 p.m. It will be the first NFL game ever broadcast on Netflix. That will be a short week for the Steelers, who play in Baltimore against the Ravens on Saturday, December 21, then again on Wednesday against the Chiefs. It's pretty similar to a Thursday schedule where there's not a lot of on-the-field work. It's more of a walk-through pace. More cold tub, hot tubs, just try to get the body moving a little bit. A lot more film work goes into those weeks than just the physical toll you get through a practice. We'll pick it up from there. As much as we make a big deal, we got the Wednesday night game, they got the Wednesday night game too. Don't expect anyone to feel sorry for you. Every team's gotta go through it. You just play through it. The Steelers open the 2024 season on the road for 2 straight games. They're in Atlanta against the Falcons in Week 1 and in Denver against the Broncos in Week 2. Steelers reportedly in talks with former Saints WR Michael Thomas. The Pittsburgh Steelers will probably add a new starting boundary receiver before Week 1 starts. They might get one through a trade or free agency. Courtland Sutton and Treylon Burks are seen as the top choices. However, a new name has come up. Zachary Smith from Steelers Now reported that the Steelers have talked to Michael Thomas, a former Saints wide receiver who is now a free agent. Thomas had an amazing 2 years in 2018 and 2019. He was named an All-Pro twice and caught 125 and 149 passes in those years. His 149 catches in the year 2019 set an NFL record for the most catches in one season. Since 2020, injuries have kept Thomas from playing much. He has only been in 20 games since then. Last season, he caught 39 passes in 10 games. The 2019 Offensive Player of the Year just turned 31. And you fan, what do you think of the Michael Thomas situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.